All right.
All right. So we just learned a very valuable lesson. Do not play people's music on your live stream. We just learned a very, very valuable lesson. So please, people, come back in. We were having such a great time. I wish I had known that they would copyright strike you for that. So we're back, and I will not be able to play your music. I do apologize because that's what happened. And I was still talking. I didn't know that the live had ended. I was on there trying to read people comment, and it wasn't until my wife was like, she came down to the man cave and was like, yeah, you're not live anymore. They took your video down. So, but let's get back in here. Let's finish the conversation though. Yeah. And also, if you want to come on stream, if you want to come up, share your story of grief, share your story of a loved one that's passed away. I find it great to keep talking about your loved ones that's passed. Keep them alive. I keep my Uncle Rico's Mr. Sucker speech alive. I will not let the Mr. Sucker speech die. People keep saying, Chaz, leave it. I will not let the Mr. Sucker speech die. So if you want to come on stream to talk about your loved ones, so people know who your family is, who your family was, by all means, please come up. There's nothing more beautiful than talking about people that matter to you. And not everybody wants to hear the conversation. Not everybody you don't feel like you can talk to other people about it because of whatever you're going through. But I promise you, on the People's Podcast, you can come up here. I would love to be able to talk to you, ask you questions about your family member that's passed, or not even family member. It could just be a friend, anyone. But yeah, mine was like I said. I stopped at Elder Johnny. I played the songs that got me through, and now to the reason this live is going on today. The reason I'm streaming this today. Let me grab my phone. The reason The reason we are streaming today is because that man right there, my father, can't really see. The light is on him, but so listen. Hopefully, this is a. I can't get the light. I can't change the light setting, but this is a photo of me, Purcell, his two boys, my dad, and my son. Me and my dad. Me and my dad used to go out for breakfast all the time. And when I say all the time, I mean all the time. He's that kind of friend, Walter Hawkins. My sister, Uncle Rico, I can't remember. It is well, Johnny. Okay, everything will be all right. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yeah. You were certainly into both of those songs. Everything will be all right. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Me and my dad used to go out for breakfast every day, and it kind of just became our thing. I don't even know how it came about. It was just one day, and I mean, I promise you, this is how it went. One day, I called my dad to see if he wanted to go get breakfast, and my dad said, "Yeah, sure." So we had started trying to find. Anyone knows me knows I'm a cheap person. I'm just cheap, and it's okay. I'm working on myself, but I'm cheap, and I started trying to find great breakfast spots that were just super cheap. And we lived in Peachtree Corners, So I found a spot that was me and my dad's regular spot called the Louvre Diner in Norcross. We would go there. That was kind of like our spot. Heaven by Beyonce, When Her Daddy Passed, Work by Rihanna. Why work? Why work, LaJoy? And we would go there regularly. And anyone knows my father. My father's a talker. I am also a talker. And so the waitresses, of course, started knowing us. The waiter knew us. The owner knew us. And it was just great. Every time we went, the food was spectacular. And I have this thing, I don't like going to the same spot all the time and getting the same thing. So I would start trying different things. And then my dad was just like, he gonna just stick to what he know. My dad got the same thing, the Duluth special, with the eggs over medium. And every single time they brought them eggs, my dad complained, no, these eggs ain't no over medium. This over easy. Or these eggs ain't no over medium. These over hard. He would sit there, be complaining, and still eating it. This is good, but this ain't how I wanted it. They never got his eggs right. All the times we went, his eggs were never right. And so we started trying this other place. I can't think of the other diner that we tried. Like I said, we were just looking for cheap restaurants that serve breakfast. I don't believe when it comes to breakfast, you should spend a lot of money. It's a very cheap thing. Because whenever Granddaddy would hear that song, he would do this little city. He would do this little dance all the time with his shoulders and his, he would do that. And yeah, we would go find different spots for breakfast. And the one thing we never did is go to Golden Corral breakfast buffet. And it was always his fault. Every single time, it was my dad's fault. We could not go to Golden Corral's breakfast buffet. I would call him and say, "Dad, hey, you ready to go?" "Nah, son, I didn't sleep well last night." "Nah, son, I'm tired." "Nah, son, we gonna go Sunday because I think it's Saturday and Sunday. We gonna go tomorrow." I called my dad Sunday. "Dad, you ready?" "Ah, son, I'm so sorry. I'm tired." It's like, all right, Dad. So I wouldn't go because that was my breakfast partner. So I was like, now unless me and my wife was going to breakfast, I wouldn't go to breakfast without my dad because he was my breakfast partner. So soon as me and my dad started going, Purcell catches wind of it. And Percy like, "Hey, what's up? Why didn't nobody, invite me? I want to come too." And my dad was like, "Oh, sure, come on." And so Percy came and Percy brought his boys with him. And then it would always be me, my dad, and Ashton. So this time it was me, my dad, Purcell, Ashton, and Purcell's boys, whatever. And we would have breakfast. Our spot was in Tucker because Purcell lived in Snellville. We was in Peachtree Corners. Tucker was the middle ground. It was like 20 minutes for Percy, about 15 for us. I do not remember the name of the place. I'm about to try to figure it out. Hold on. Oh man. I can't remember. And so I ended up finding the restaurant. And the way I found it, I Googled cheap restaurants, cheap restaurants in Tucker, because we found out that was a good middle ground. Uh, Old Hickory House. There we go. Old Hickory House in Tucker. We would go there. That was when Purcell was coming, that was our breakfast spot. Hold on. I'm about to read a comment, then I'm gonna get back to my story. Seriously, if you want to come on stream, by all means, come on up. Me and my brother by 5 when Johnny passed and Charles dad leave someday. I have to listen. That sounds like oh hey yeah, Ruben be going crazy when it come to that Rod Wave. Boy, Ruben gonna play him some Rod Wave. But yeah, that's how I found it, LaJoy. I googled cheap restaurants. She wants to come on, so I'm about to add. Same thing as the other day. I'm gonna just let me know. I will send you the link and just come on stage. I'll let you in. But yeah, we used to go. Okay, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link, Auntie, and you'll just follow the link. It'll bring you backstage, and then I will let you in. I just sent it to you on Facebook, so you just go to your hold on one second. I just sent it to you, High Priest. You should see it. I'm gonna generate a new one. But yeah, man, me and my dad would go to breakfast every day. And it was just like once my dad passed, there's so many details in that, and I'm gonna share them. I'm gonna share them. I remember him just being sick, and I hated seeing my dad that way. I truly did. It used to break my heart just seeing my dad, seeing him sick like that. And it took me forever to go to the hospital to see my dad. It was just like I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And one day, my mom, she would say to me regularly, "Yo, you know your father would love to see you, son." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I know, mom. I can't." And I would still talk to my dad all the time, and my dad would say, "When you gonna come see me?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, dad, I'll be there at some point. You know, I'm busy right now. I'll get there." And one day, it just happened to be I had to take my dad some food so he could eat. He didn't like the hospital food. And so my mom's like, "Hey, Moose, go get your dad one of them salads that he like, the gyro salad. Go get your dad a gyro salad." And it was like, "Oh, mom, come on, please don't make me go up there." And I eventually go get the salad. I take it to him. And the moment I walked in, my dad's heart was full of joy. He was so happy to see me. Of course, I was happy to see my dad, and I hugged him and we talked. He was like, "Man, you should. I thought you was gonna big come up here." I was like, "Dad, I'm so sorry, man." Even when I was in Chicago, and my dad was in the hospital. I couldn't even FaceTime to see. It was just too much. I just couldn't handle it. And it's like my mom was like, "Hey, son, you gotta get to the point where you understand how to do things for other people. Right now, yes, it's hard for you to see your dad like this, but your dad really wants to see you. You're not going there for yourself. You're doing this for him." And anyone knows me knows whenever my dad needed something from me, I'm gonna show up for my dad. I was gonna show up even if I didn't want to, but because my dad needed me to show up, I'm showing up for him. And I remember going to the hospital, seeing him, uh, talking, laughing, all that stuff, talking about basketball and the usual stuff. My dad would get out the hospital, we go get some breakfast, do our normal routine, hang out. Mom, I sent you the link, High Priest, and TT. I sent you the link too, to your inbox on Facebook. So all you got to do is click the link, come to backstage, and I'll let you up. But yeah, we and you could come up right now. I don't have to. Not because I'm talking. Like you could come up while I'm talking. I'll still let you in. I'll gladly switch to your conversation. So you could come up now. And so I showed up for him again, and then it's like he kept going to the hospital, and I never forget the last time my dad went to the hospital. My dad, so it was a my day so bad. I do believe it was a Thursday, and my dad calls me in the room to talk to me, and he's, "Son, are you mad at me?" I was kind of like, "What? Dad, what are you talking about?" All the kids know our dad hated for us to have a problem with him. Like he hated that, and so it's like, "You mad at me?" And I'm like, "Nah, Dad. What? Why would I be mad at you?" He said, "Well, because I had some Popeyes the other day, and I didn't offer you none." I said, "Dad, I know I'm fat, but come on, man. Like, you think I'm that? I could go to Popeyes and get me a meal if I want to. Like, I'm not mad at you over no I'm not mad at you at all, let alone mad at you over Popeyes, Dad. Come on." He's like, "Are you sure?" I'd have offered you a piece of chicken. I said, Dad, if I'm mad at you over a piece of chicken, please whoop me. I need a whooping if I'm mad at you over a piece of Popeye's chicken when I could just go to Popeyes and get me a piece of chicken. I'm not a big Popeyes guy anyway. I prefer KFC. But I'm like, I'm not mad at you over no Popeyes chicken. And he was like, all right, son, I just wanted to make sure that we was good. Cause I say, I'll give you the money. You go get you some Popeyes chicken. I was like, Dad, the fact that we're having this conversation that you think I'm mad at you over some Popeyes is absolutely insane to me. And he leaves, right? He leaves, goes to I believe dialysis. And I go out, I used to Uber all the time. So I'm out Ubering. I'm not getting any orders. It is horrible. I mean, I'm not getting any hits at all. So I had a few sections. Okay, if I'm not getting hits here, I normally get them here. If I'm not getting hits here, I normally get them there. Once I went to my sections, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm not about to be riding around trying to figure out where to get some orders from. He was definitely a gentle giant. I'm not about to be riding around wondering where I'm gonna get orders at. I'm about to go home. I'm on the phone with one of my friends, and on the way home, my mom texts me and she says, Chasten, head to the hospital. Your father has taken a turn for the worse. I'm on the phone with my friend and I said, hey, yo, I think my dad just passed away. If not, it's going to happen soon. And they was like, oh, bro, don't say that, man. You got to have faith in God. You got to trust. And I was like, don't preach to me. I know the word. I don't need you trying to preach it to me. I'm in reality, just the reality of life and death. My dad was not going to live forever. I'm not going to live forever. And I text her back, okay, do I need to go pick up my family? Here we go. We'll get back to my story. We have somebody coming up on stage. I think I need to go this route. There we go.
Well,
TT,
hello, nephew.
how you doing?
I'm good and better for your asking. Thank you. First, let me say hello to my family. Hello to everybody. I'm just excited for you, for what you are doing. But I'm telling you, today was definitely what I needed today. I've just
Good.
been, I mean, I don't know how many people actually know who I am, but wow, I'm family. It's kind of
You auntie.
crooked.
you I thought you was listen, this auntie right here. This is auntie. This who she is.
Yeah,
She's family till the day we all go on to be with the Lord. This
that's
auntie right
right.
here. This TT. Yeah.
Yeah. So even in just the topic, talking about it, of course, I heard you talking about Rico when I first got on, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, my brother.
Yeah.
And then from there, it didn't take me to my sister, to your
Mm.
aunt. It took me to Uncle Cornell. And
Yeah.
then from there, I'm like, man, our families have been through some stuff.
Yes.
And then from there, of course, well, before even Cornell, your brother and um, I know that feeling of losing a sibling too. I know that
Yes.
feeling of losing a parent, a father specifically. And then, of course, now as your mother, I know the feeling of losing a child.
Hmm.
And those things have been, how should I say it? It's like, okay, God, what else do you need me to learn about
Yeah.
this? But I can tell you this, if nothing else, I've learned to, yes, keep their memories alive.
Hmm.
Keep, what do you say? You're going to keep telling your story? Keep telling your stories.
Hmm.
Because at this point, we have, I have grandchildren now, but my son's has two daughters, the one that passed. And so it's like, if I don't say certain things, will they ever know,
Right.
of those things concerning their parents. But I really I'm appreciating this whole um live that you have going right now today. Um
Thank you.
Now one thing that I it got me, I was sitting here and I kept thinking of what songs, you know, I listened
Yeah.
to or whatever. Well, of course, it's amazing to me, but when Phyllis passed, okay, first of all, when my dad passed, I know you all remember that. When my dad passed, our family was known for singing this one song at everybody's funeral. They didn't want us to sing nothing else. It was These Are They.
Okay.
And so at my dad's funeral, we all decided we're not singing this no more. That's what we decided. We don't care. We're not singing this at nobody else's funeral. And lo and behold, if it wasn't true, we were only able to sing a part of it at
Mm,
Phyllis's funeral because she was in heaven.
yeah. Yeah.
And then when Cornell passed, it's like, wait a minute, this is
Right.
this is for real. We
Hold on,
can't
you
sing.
Auntie, you got some comments coming. My mom said, make sure you sing something before you go.
Oh my Lord. Okay, I can't sing that. This is my first time ever going live with
Yeah,
anybody. I just need you to know
listen,
that.
it's okay. I don't know what I'm doing either. I don't know how to get my comments to pop up here. So I'm going
Okay.
back to my Facebook to see it. So she said, make sure you sing something before you go. And then as you were talking about the song, she said, sing the songs.
Oh no, she didn't. That's my sister. She know I would do whatever for her. She know I will.
Cause y'all are
Um,
some singers. Y'all some talented people too, you know.
but I can't tell you how when it came to the family unit, when we started losing
Hmm.
it, even myself, I'll be very honest. I don't even sing now.
Wow.
Now, Kathleen, Bit and Fat, I'm gonna say they nicknamed Bit and Fat. They still sing. But Fat lives in Arizona and Bit lives here in West Memphis, Arkansas. So I mean, they still have that. But for me, I went through some serious illness
Mm,
and almost left this earth. But God still, I'm still
right.
here. So that's what I'm gonna say.
So now what
But
you gonna have to do since you are up here, you gonna have to tell us your favorite story about Aunt Phyllis and your favorite story about that legend man, that man Cornell Thigpen.
oh, oh my goodness. Wow. Let me
So I'm
start with.
I was
Go
about to say
ahead.
I'll tell one about Cornell, then you can kind of come up with one. So and this is something that me and my brother talk about all the time. When he lived here in Georgia
Uh-huh.
and he was about to move back to Milwaukee,
Mm-hmm.
me and Purcell used to go over there to sit with Cornell all the time. I mean, all every chance we got, we would go. And
Mm-hmm.
Cornell was, Cornell's not one to name drop and one to like show everybody he know. But me and Purcell
Never
like,
been.
do you know this person? He's like, yeah. Could you call him? He'll call him. Do you know this person? So when Cornell was moving, he called us was like, hey, I need some help moving. We drive over there to help him. We like, okay, how much stuff we have? Cornell had three things that needed to go. And when we packed his stuff up and he left, me and my brother said, man, that was Cornell telling us bye. Like, rather than just call and say bye, I want to see y'all before I leave. I'm gonna come ask y'all to help me do some work. He paid us, took us out to eat, talk, and then Cornell, he ended up going ahead and leaving to Milwaukee. And it wasn't until later we understood, oh, that was his way of saying, I'm gonna miss y'all when I'm gone, man. Like I wanted to see y'all. So go
Yes.
ahead, Auntie. Go ahead,
No,
Auntie.
that is definitely him.
Yeah.
And he I mean that's just him. Um Most people when they find out that he was our brother, they want to go to the musician, the
Hmm.
that but I often say like Janet Jackson said, to the world, Michael was an entertainer and he was this, but he's my brother. And
Right.
so I see him a little different. So that was a nice little story you told about him. So I'm going to tell one about him. And Rochelle may even know this, but we had to be we had to be like maybe because I'm 3 years older than him. So
Mhm.
I was probably like 16 or so, and kind of in that area. And it was funny because, he was over the twins and they're the last ones. And so mom, my mama didn't play with us. My, that's all I'm gonna say. And they had been running in the house or doing something. And my mama, she called, she said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She said, no, she said the girls, because she knew it was some girls, she just didn't know who. And she made us come in the kitchen. She said, and sit down. She on the phone. You know how they do.
Mhm.
She said, and you better not move unless this house catch on fire. Right? Cornell is standing in the hallway where my mama can't see him over there talking about, y'all want me to flicker my bick? Man, I will never forget that story about him. That is one of my favorite. And of course, we have so many more, with
Absolutely.
being grown and our children and all of that. Um, Now, when it comes to your Aunt Phyllis, this is, how do I say it? Oh Lord, I looked up to Phyllis so much. We're only 13 months apart, just a
Mm.
year. But I don't think she really knew how much I looked up to her.
Right.
She was my only older sibling. And there's just so many things. Mainly, if I would honestly say, I was jealous of her voice.
That woman could sing, man. That woman there.
Man,
And you talking about
man.
the anointing of God on a voice? Woo!
Yes,
That woman
yes.
could sing.
And she didn't feel like that. She felt like we all were the best with it. But no, even Cornell would tell you, Phyllis's voice was it. She was the one that got to travel around the world with him and all of those things. But I absolutely realized the anointing and the significance of our lives.
Mhm.
And I look at you all the same way. And that is, there are certain families that you don't really have a choice. You're either going to do or you're not going to do, which
Yeah.
means you're not going to be here. And I don't mean that God punishes people. No, I'm just saying in your time, your anointed time, you
Mhm.
have to do what you need to do during that time. And I really believe that. Now, this is leading a little bit into Auntie Phyllis, and that is when she married your Uncle Wesley.
Big
Um,
West.
Big West, that's what y'all call him. But you have to remember, honey, I knew your mom I knew them way before then.
Oh wow.
I think, ooh, I think your brothers may have been 3 or 4
Oh
when
man, okay.
ask your mom. Yeah, yeah. And I'm sorry, I can't read anything. So,
No,
but
you're good. She
anyway,
she said you saying the truth.
yeah. And so we were in church together, and the reality was some families could seemingly get away with stuff,
Mhm.
but ours wasn't. And
Yeah.
I'm when I say that, I even mean, your mom and uncles and everything. And then of course Uncle Cornell and Uncle Rico, they were it was 4 of them that were best friends. And
Mhm. The 4
Cornell
horsemen.
was yeah, Cornell was actually the last one to pass.
Mhm.
And but I want you all to know your Big West, as y'all call him, has never been nothing less than a brother
Yeah.
to me. And literally, he has always been. And I appreciate the way he took care of Phyllis until
Yes.
she went to heaven.
Yeah.
Yes. But thank you for this time, and just thank you for speaking about it. You're right. A lot of people are afraid. They don't know what to say. They
Mhm.
don't, uh, some people don't mean any harm,
Right.
um, but it's nothing wrong with keeping them alive. Um,
Absolutely.
Lastly, before I sing a little song,
Okay.
uh, in April of 25, um, us there was a young man that Greg and I uh, finished help raising because his mom passed. Well, his mom and I had been friends since he was 2, and she passed. And then at 14, he came to live with us.
Mhm.
And so he graduated from my house. I knew him before my own children, before I was married.
Oh, wow.
And in April, he passed in Chicago. And when I say I had never been hurt like that, this is the one that every day I think about him.
Mm.
Every day it's a reminder that he's no longer here.
Mhm.
And what gets me about it is his daughter, she is his clone. And so looking at her at she's just turned 9, looking at her every, week when I see her, it's like seeing him grow all over
Mm.
again. But I don't take that as a bad thing. I take it as a God thing.
Yeah.
And I thank God for it. And when, oh Lord, when your brother died, I was messed up. And I was messed up for your mother.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that later on it was gonna be me,
Mm.
but her strength, literally her strength, gave me some peace. And we couldn't come, because of everything going on during that time. But
Mhm.
um, I'm thankful. I'm grateful.
Awesome.
And only, you better believe when I say only, because your mom asked me to sing.
You got one, high priest. She's about to sing or something.
Yes, and I missed her birthday this year, so I'm gonna have to do something. Um, Man, I don't. That's crazy. You don't know
You
what to
got any
sing when people
you got any
ask me.
suggestions, high priest? You got any suggestions for it? Let's see. We're gonna see. I don't you don't
Well,
you don't you don't feel a song. Let's see what you feel.
I'm just. You know what? Let me just do what I normally do. I just
Mhm.
start telling God, "Thank you,
Okay.
thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord." Mm. Thank you, Lord. Lord, I just want to thank you, Lord, because you've been my friend. Mm. You've been my friend. You've been my friend. I just want to thank you, Lord. Okay, that's all I got
There we
right
go.
now.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming up, Auntie. Thank you
Yes,
for the song. Thank you for your stories. Thank you for everything.
yes. And I really pray that what you are doing makes a difference in people's lives. Listen,
Thank you.
nephew, it's making a difference in mine.
That's all that matters. Is one
And
person being touched. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And so I am thanking God for everything that he takes you through, that you've gone through, things that you're going to go through.
Mhm.
Because if you stay rooted in him and in his word, oh, I tell my sons all the time, true success is doing whatever God put you here to do.
Amen.
That's the only way you can have true success. I love y'all.
We love
I'll
you
I'll
too.
call you later, sis.
She gonna call you later, High Priest. All right, thank you. Listen, people, come up, have conversation. Man, another funny story about my Aunt Phyllis. I remember we was helping them move. Her and my Uncle Wesley. We were helping them move, and every single time we was carrying something, Aunt Phyllis would say, "Please don't hit my wall. Please don't touch my wall. Please don't scratch my wall. Please don't do this to my wall." And we was working for about an hour, maybe 2 hours moving stuff. And every item we carry, it don't matter what the item was, she kept saying, "Please don't scratch my wall. Please don't touch." To where we was coming in the house getting annoyed because we know she about to say, "Please don't scratch my wall. Please don't touch my wall. Please don't hit my wall." And so now me and Purcell, we're 30 plus years old. And anytime we reference somebody hitting the wall, we both know we're talking about, we're bringing back Aunt Phyllis. We was talking about uh not hitting a wall. That's definitely our thing. Let me see. High Priest, your link should still work, so you can come up. Uh, it should still work, so you should come up. But yeah, we also, man, back to my dad, seeing him like that. And I just remember being on the way to pick up my family after my mom says yes, pick up your family and come back. Oh, we about to pause on my father because who better to talk about my father than my mother? Come on up, High Priest.
Okay, all right, all right. Just sitting and this, I think that's wonderful because certainly, as T said, it's important to talk about it. I think when you stop talking, you don't give your brain an opportunity to process what's happening. I like to share with people because I do grief counseling. I like to share with them that God created us in a way that our brain will process our loss and we will get better. It's
Mhm.
only when we shut down and we don't allow our brain to do the work that you get what we call complicated grief, and you kind of get stuck in that place. So I feel like when my mother passed, that was definitely I had complicated grief. I didn't know how to process it. I got stuck, and it just was not a good thing. And I think my first thing where God was really reaching out and kind of trying to help me. I remember Bishop Daryl Hines sang the song um, mm, on the hill far away. I can't the old rugged
The old
cross.
rugged cross. Yep.
Oh my gosh. And you talk about, I just sat in that church and I cried and I heard the words, and the Lord just spoke to me and said, all she did was exchanged her cross for her crown. So the healings, started taking place. And I got a little bit better with dealing with grief. And then when my sister passed, and you know what? I also learned how to pay attention, because one of the things was I felt like it was came upon me and I wasn't aware. And God showed me. He said, I tried to tell you, but you wasn't paying attention. I attended a church service and the preacher said to me, God said for you to take time away, he needs to talk to you. But I was in nursing school at the time. I had so much going on that I never stopped. And then a couple of months later, my mother was dead.
Mhm.
And so I learned how to cue in on those things when God is pulling me to the side. I learned to pay attention. So when my sister, God showed me months before she passed that she was going to pass. So everybody thought I was going to kind of deal with it like I did with my mom, but I managed it much better.
Mhm.
And then my next thing was when Prophet passed. That was so unexpected for me, though. It really was. But believe it or not, I had been having dreams about funerals and different things of that sort. I just never put it together. And when he passed, that really broke me. I can remember just being in bed, not able to really get up. Purcell would come and check on me, and he would say, "How you doing?" And I say, "Oh, I'm doing good." And he said, "Well, now you know the Bible say a lie is not going to tarry in this." He said, "And I know you love the Lord, so I want to give you another chance. How are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm not doing good, but I'm gonna be okay." And you know, the song that I know it was some songs that I was listening to during the
Mhm.
time of his death, but the song that really helped me because I was being a professional griever.
Yeah.
I knew how it needed to happen, what needed to happen. I understood death. And so I was just being very professional, so professional, I wasn't allowing myself to really grieve or be, you know, honest about the loss.
Right.
And it was just like that song. I can't think of the guy's name, but he talks about you don't have to be strong enough that I can do all things, through Christ. And the Lord said to me, just let me help you through this. And so I remember just kind of taking a break from ministry. It probably would be maybe 6 months to a year when I was not really able to preach. You all did most of the singing, other people was preaching. I just sat and I had to heal. And I think that that's very important that you got to deal with it realistically. If you try to ignore grief, grief will eat you up. It will eat you alive and leave you sitting right there. And so that's why I think that with
I'm
Elder
sorry. Hold on.
Jordan, go
Hold
ahead.
on. Before you go home, you I need you to acknowledge that Christmas meal that you made. Listen, people,
That was
when
the
you are
that was the
grieving, do not cook.
right.
She
I
cooked
learned that too.
she
Rico
cooked
passed
Christmas
around
dinner,
Christmas.
and it was so that food was bad. I mean, it was
That was the
absolutely horrible.
and I'm gonna
And
tell you this. I make absolute good. Everybody loves my dressing. And
absolutely.
people they know I can make. So I was trying to make duck dress. Cause see, that's the thing. I was like, I know I can't allow this to take me out. So I got to keep going. And the issue was I forgot to turn the stove back on. That
Her
food was nasty. I will
her
acknowledge
her
that.
ice box pie. It was so bad. One of our friends at the time was like, "Man, y'all letting this good food go to waste." And we like, "No, we're telling you, it's horrible." And he would normally eat kind of anything. He ate
Right.
some of that food, and he was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna even lie. This is bad. This is horrible.
Yeah. He said, I can't believe Pastor made
Like this is horrible."
I had to toss all that food. But
Yeah,
once again, I think I was just trying to be a professional with it.
right.
That I knew where, he'd gone on to be with the Lord. I knew his life. What I did know was how to manage the pain of losing him. And
Hmm.
for me, it was unexpectedly. I didn't know how to manage that. And so, like I said, I took that break for about a year. And yeah, it was bad. And I had to heal because, Rico was also like, he was like a son to me because after my mother passed, I took control of him. I took him. And so it was like losing a brother, a son. It was rough.
Hmm.
I survived it. So I think with Elder Johnny, I had saw that in a dream. God sent me on a 3-day, 3-night fast. And then maybe a week later is when he passed. So certainly the Lord prepared me and he carried me through in that. And it doesn't take away from the pain of it.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from the pain of it, but I was able to survive it. I was surprised myself because different people was like, they was calling, and I was kind to folks because I knew they meant well, and they would say, "I got to see your face," because I just know. And each time they go, "Oh my God, what is going on here?" And I would tell them, "It's the Lord. This is nothing but God that is carrying me through the way that He carried me." I didn't think I could do it. I felt like when his birthday was coming up, I was like, oh my God, this is probably going to be the worst time. And I worked, and my schedule was so busy. Somebody called me, and I was asleep. And they was going on because they had just kept calling. And then finally they said, well, you know what today is? And I was like, no, what happened? They say, today Johnny's birthday. I said, yeah. They said, you okay? I'm like, oh my God. I told them, I said, it's the Lord. He helped me through. And I wasn't trying to be a professional. Like people were saying, you got to show you hurt. I know you crushed. You know what I mean? And sure I was. But what I learned is that when God is being a comforter, accept the comfort.
Hmm.
And that's what I did. I accepted his comfort, and he carried me through it. My father, and I did his eulogy.
Yeah.
But once again, God prepared me. And then, with your dad, I think that's a whole different beast. You know what
That
I
is
mean?
that is a
That's
entirely different kind of animal that I know I often say just finding out who I am in life without my dad is different because he's always been there. It's
yeah,
like any milestone in my life I can point back to my dad being there. Anything that's happened, I can point to my dad being there. Like this stuff with David Ruffin Jr. Like it's cool. My dad he knew that I knew David Ruffin Jr., but the second part that came from me being around David Ruffin Jr. is like, oh man. And for a minute, I don't know if you remember how hard it was for me because it's like I used to call and tell Johnny everything. Anything that happened, I'm gonna call and tell JB. And when
yeah,
JB was gone, it was just kind of like, oh man, I don't have that person to just go and tell everything to JB. And it's like kind of like that same thing now with my dad. It's just like, oh my God, it's like, just don't have that no more to go and just say, Dad, this happened.
right,
And it's definitely it's a process, like you always tell me. And I'm terrible at the process sometimes, people. I'm not gonna even pretend. Some days I'd be walking around, I'd just be like a zombie. Just I can't even process what's going on, process the day. And eventually it's like I'll kind of start narrowing down. Then I'll kind of be like, oh, okay, I'm having a bad day because my dad right now. And it's like, all
yep,
right, yeah.
yeah. And that is part of the process. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's definitely part of the process. I think his birthday passed the 8th, and I told you, I think probably on because Rico's birthday was July 1st. And so we were all so used to we would celebrate Rico and then we would get ready for his. So, I was already kind of a little triggered, but I recognized that okay, it's these birthdays, it's all of this stuff. And I just allow it to happen. I said and I listened. Purcell had a vid, he did a tribute. I listened to that and I cried. I listened to your tribute and I cried. And I just let the tears flow because I know it's a part of the healing process that you have to let that go. You have to get it out. And it comes out in the tears. And I made sure, I took that time and it was, a couple of hours I just sat on and off. Well, I'm gonna say a couple of days, because first time was a couple of hours I was on and off. Then the next day it kind of trailed off. And then now I'm good. So when his birthday came on the 8th, I was great. But you gotta do the process. Grief, our bodies are made to do that. And when we fight it, that's when people get stuck. And I really feel bad, especially in the church, because I think sometimes we don't know what to say to people. But I do know we got to do more than dance and shout. And that's what
Right.
people did to me when my mom passed. Come over and show. It's almost like being around drug addicts. You lose somebody, all they know to do is shoot you up. Come on, smoke with me. Because they don't know anything else to do. So you in church, you lose somebody, come on, dance with me. Praise the Lord. And all of that is great. But then
Hmm.
there's a moment that you have to sit down and you must grieve. You must feel that loss, the pain of that loss, and process it, telling that story, telling your experience. till you can get to the place where your brain and your emotions kind of reconcile with each other, and it is well.
Yeah, I remember. I think that was you who I don't remember how that day went, but something happened. I had that weird dream, and it was like, for those who don't know, my brother Purcell is starting a men's ministry. Here's your plug, Percy P. He is starting a men's ministry, and so in the dream, it was kind of like his men's ministry was going, and we were all the men were in a circle. We were talking, and we was kind of sharing how we're feeling in the moment. And I was just kind of like, "Oh, I'm okay, I'm good." And then all the men was like, "Come on, Chasten, you say this every week, every time you just saying you good, you good." And then I just broke down, crying and yelling. I'm in pain every moment of my life. Every moment is just painful for me. And I was like, "Oh man, that truly is how I feel. I truly am just in pain every moment, and I'm trying my hardest not to give into the pain when sometimes you need to. Like I know for the longest when I talk about my dad, I would just talk about the funny moments. I would talk about the times that he whooped this or he, whacked Purcell in the back one time and how he tricked Ruben this one time and whacked him, how he set me up for a whooping one time and stuff that we laugh at. And I would leave all the other stuff buried. And then it's like, but I got to talk about that too. I got to talk about how I felt carrying my father's casket to his plot. I have to talk about that. I have to talk about how I felt walking into this sanctuary. And this is the very last time I'm ever going to see my father. I will never see him again in person. This is the last time. And it's him lying in the casket. Like I have to be able to talk about that stuff as well because it's a part of the grieving process, not just the good moments. Those bad moments are also a part of it. And you can't hold those down. You have to talk, you have to let that stuff out as well. High priest on you.
Absolutely. And once again, here is why I wanted to do grief counseling and did like some things to really specialize in it. And I eventually want to offer these services to church people because when we don't grieve properly, it affects our relationship with the Lord. You'll be, well, maybe not. It is shocking. Let me say that way. The number of people who attend church and they're hurting because they lost someone they love. Now they know, we're going to go to heaven and we know they were saved, they went to be with the Lord, but we also are human, and it's that
Mhm.
that separation in the flesh from the flesh, and you're still living. It causes you to question everything from your salvation, to your commitment to how you're going to live your life, knowing that you too must cross that way. So, it's a very deep conversation that I think the church doesn't talk about enough. And we don't know how to support people when they lose someone. I think it's just a wonderful thing, offering that grief, normalizing that it's okay to cry, it's okay to hurt because you lost someone and you don't have to get up and dance it out. You may not be able to
Mm.
dance. You know what I mean? Today, all you may be able to do is just sit there and cry, but that's okay as long as you don't stay there. So when people make the mistake in church sometimes is that they discourage you from grieving. You ain't
Mhm.
supposed to grieve, and the Bible never told you you're not supposed to grieve. It said don't grieve like people who don't have hope.
Yeah.
So you are supposed to grieve, and normalizing that process, I think, is very important. And I like the thing that you said because it is, we lose someone. There are so many factors that play a role in that, and we grieve them all. When Elder Johnny passed, I lost my firstborn, I lost my helper, I lost my encourager, I lost my confidant. I lost my financial supporter. It was so many things that I lost. My biggest cheerleader, and so yeah, you grieve all of those things, and when you do it right, you're able to readjust and
Mhm.
you keep on going.
So you mentioned a few people. I'm gonna let you pick who you want to tell your story about. Of the ones that you mentioned, tell us a story about you can pick two of them, and I know it's hard to kind of pick between unless you can tell a story about all of them and condense it. It's up to you.
Okay. The one about something I remember. Oh, I could do that real quickly. With my sister was such a jokester. And although she had substance misuse issues, I always called her a diamond in the rough. She was a sweetheart. And I think the story I remember is when I was getting married and my sister got clean for like 6 months while she waited to be my maid of honor. She wouldn't do anything. And cold turkey, she did it so that she said she would not be an embarrassment to me, to my church friends, but she wouldn't have been an embarrassment, but just the level of love that she had for her family. With Rico, I think, with Rico was a comedian. So, I had it very rough, but he always doing something to make me laugh because he didn't like to see me down. So it's like if it looked like someone right, he's gonna crack all kind of jokes till I start laughing. Then he'll go ahead and he'll leave. He wasn't serving the Lord. He would always say, "Shell, you're gonna be okay. God gonna bless you. I'm telling you, Shell, you can't do all this stuff you do, and God don't bless you." So I used to call him the unsaved prophet because he always had, he always had some prophetic word or something he was saying. I think with Sugar, when I got pregnant with Johnny, I was out in the world. And I always say this, he made me grow up because I always wanted to be a good mother. And once I got pregnant with him, I sat down, I stopped partying. And not long after that, I was, of course, pregnant with Christ, but the Lord saved me. But Johnny slowed me down enough that had an opportunity to hear God. Yeah. I know, Tyrone, this is true. I think did my sister kind of went out of order. I think with my father, it was totally different. You know what I mean? Because I came to know that I had so many traits like my dad. I was just excited that my father had accepted the Lord. And
Yeah.
T, I thought about your story you told me about with your dad. Similar thing. I was so glad when my father accepted the Lord. Yes. With my hubby, that is still something I'm still digesting. And it is because we were together for almost 36 years. I was with him. It's like, a very long relationship and so many pluses that he to my life and helping me. Even now I'm working on my fifth book and I miss him because he was my editor, my co-writer in the sense that I was sitting, sometimes we'd talk about something for an hour. And I recently got stuck on a part. I was stuck for about a week. I had nobody to discuss it with, take it back and forth. Anyway, yeah, it's a whole different thing. So I definitely I miss him. And yeah, just the reality. I never thought that I would be in this place. This is the place that I'm in. And I guess my thing, the biggest story I would say about him is that I know his role was hard. And when I say that, to be married to a preacher, a female who God greatly used, and I'm not being braggadocious, I'm saying things that people would try to use to make him feel less than. And I never forget, I had preaching, and the guy walked up to him. He was like, "Man, your wife can preach. She could beat you preaching." And he told him, "She could beat you too."
You right. She can beat me, but she can beat you too.
Yeah, he said she could beat you too. And I felt so badly about that. He's like, "No, I mean it's okay. It's the truth." He said, but for him to say that to me like that, yeah, he told no, she could beat you too. It's a whole bunch of men she could beat. It ain't just me. So that would be the thing. It's very encouraging.
Yeah.
I tell people I would not even be doing ministry on the level that I do it. He gave me the courage because he said to me, "You're greater than what you do. You're not just your brother's cheerleaders. You have a ministry. You're not just their cheerleader. You have a ministry, and God wants you to get about it because that blood's gonna be required of you. You know how you would preach. You go in
Uh-huh.
hell. You go in hell. You go. Yeah, he
How old
told
are
me
you? You
right.
13? You can go to hell too. You better get your life right with God. It's like, man.
So that's what I remember most about him. It's like he's gonna make sure. I was doing. I tell people I wouldn't have written my first book if it wasn't for him. I was supposed to be writing. I would go about doing other little things, and he said, "You go right here doing everything but working on that book." And I got mad at him. I'm gonna get back to that book. He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm just saying, you ain't wrote it. I don't know when." So he taught me consistency, and yeah, that would be the story, definitely.
Well, I appreciate you coming up, sharing with us,
Yeah.
and thank you. So, listen, Tyrone, I wanted to address your comment. I wanted to give the high priest a chance to finish her stuff. But this, I'm not good at grieving. I'm scared to lose people I love. One of the things I actually heard an apologist speaking on this, and Wednesday, if you're doing nothing, please come. We do have Christian apologist Chris Claus. I'm actually going to ask him some questions about eschatology. But I actually heard an apologist talking about people saying they're scared to lose people they love. He said the reality is you're going to lose them, afraid or not, whether you want to lose them or not, whether you believe in God or not, you're going to lose people. The best thing you can do is not be afraid of losing people. The best thing you can do is one, make sure your life and their life is lined up with God. After that, the people that you love, make sure they know you love them. That's why I tell people, listen, man, if I don't come see you, if we don't make it a priority in life to value each other, there's no need of you rushing to my funeral. Please just stay home. You didn't even talk to me when I was alive. You never came to see me while I was alive, but you're willing to travel 20 hours to come see me dead. Don't save the money, save the time, save the trip. So when people saying they're afraid to lose people, the reality is we're going to lose people. We're going to. So now that we know something that cannot be changed, which is we are going to lose people, what do you do with the time that you have with those people? I'm gonna wrap it up because I've been going longer than I wanted to, but I want to finish the story about my dad and some other things. So yeah, I left off on picking up my family. So my mom says, "Hey, get to the hospital." I go pick up my family, my wife, my two kids, and we're heading to the hospital. And I'm like an hour away from the hospital. In my head, I know my father is either gone or he's on his way out. And I'm driving and I'm just saying, God, do not let because I'm texting my siblings, hey, where y'all at? Oh, we here. We at the hospital. Dang. Okay, where you at? I'm at the hospital. Where you at? At the hospital. It turned out I was the only one not at the hospital. And I'm like, God, please don't let my father pass. And he's asking, where's Moose? Where's Moose? I'm like, Lord, don't let me have to live the rest of my life knowing he got to see all my siblings again. And he's asking for me, and I'm not there. I'm driving, tears is in my because I'm trying not to put off too much for my wife to pick up on how emotionally wrecked I am right now. So I'm driving. I got the music blasting. I got tears in my eyes. My eyes are so full of tears while I'm driving, y'all. It was cloudy. I'm not gonna lie. The Lord definitely took that wheel because I could barely see how hard. And I'm trying not to cry because my son is in the back, my daughter's behind me, my wife, and I'm trying to hold myself together enough. Now, what I really should have done was ask my wife to drive, but I was saying she's gonna drive too slow and I want to get there just in case my father's asking for me. I want to be there to say, Dad, here, I'm here. I'm here, Dad. I want to be able to do that. And so finally get to the hospital. I don't even park right. I did everything wrong. I left my wife and kids outside. And I told her as soon as I park, I stop and hey, babe, go park. And I run inside. I tell the people at the front, hey, my father's in the back was going. My mom meets me, and my mom is walking to me. Like them hospital shows where it's like you standing there waiting on some news, and the person is taking their precious time walking. That's how it felt for me. It looked like my mom was walking in slow motion, and the hallway was so long. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm trying to meet her to say, hurry up and take me to his room. But as soon as she comes to me, she grabs my hand and she's like, okay, your father is gone. And in my head, I'm not even really caring. Like, I care, but it's not like all I'm thinking is, oh my God, my dad's gone and he was asking for me and I was not here. Get there to the room. I see my father lying there in his bed, see him just lying there. And we're surrounding him. We're all there, we're all standing there. And I'm looking at him. And then once my mom says, you know, because I asked how long ago, and she said, "Oh, he was gone before I called y'all. He was gone." And at that moment, I break down. My brother Purcell I was standing next to him, and he's like, I just kind of leaned over on him. he he cried and tried to hold me up and comfort me, and I try to comfort him while we're both just standing there, just crying as we realize that our father is gone. And our sister was in there. She was doing something I just couldn't do. Like, I was struggling. Like, my sister was kissing my dad on the forehead, and I was standing next to him. And it's like I wanted to touch him I just wanted to touch his forehead just one time. I couldn't do it. And I was trying, and my sister's like, Chastity, just do it. And I'm like, I can't. Like, I'm really trying. I just can't get myself to, I just can't do it. And my sister grabs my hand and she places my hand on our father's forehead. And it was just like, oh my gosh, my dad's really gone. Like, this is really something that I have to live with. I have to live with my dad is gone. And my sister's kind of looking at me like, man, dude, like that was really that hard for you. And I'm like, yes, you have no idea how challenging that was for me to place my hand. Cause it's like, to me, every step was just more confirmation that my dad is really gone. And by touching him, his lifeless body, touching him, and my dad not reacting, my dad not responding, my dad doing nothing but lying there. It's more confirmation that your dad's gone. And after that, it was just like oh man, my my guy Leo, chaplain. He's a chaplain in the military. He is therapist, and I called him. I had texted him like, "Hey man, do you have time to talk?" We talked, and I was just saying to him like, "Man, how mad I was at myself because it's like, man, I have to deal with this, and at some point, my children are gonna have to feel what I feel right now. At some point, my son is gonna have to bury me. My son's gonna have to carry me to my plot. He's gonna have to carry me to my final resting place. My daughter is gonna have to stand over me and see me lifeless. At some point, this is something that my daughter is gonna have to experience. My daughter is gonna have to bury her. She's gonna have to see her grandmother one day, no longer be here on earth. I'm gonna have to one day experience life without my mom. Like, all these thoughts, and while me and Leo were in the middle of talking, I just started crying. And he's like, man, and Leo knows me. He knows I'm not an emotional person. And so for me to start crying like that, he's just like, man, I know you feeling it. You know, recently, me and my brother Purcell were talking. And for some reason, it was like every time I was having like these rough moments in life that I'm not grieving well, Purcell's the one who would make me cry every single time. And so once I call him, I start crying. And another time I call Percy and talking to him again, and just just crying. And yeah, I remember calling Tyrone that night. And Tyrone, he was being mean to me like I did it. Tyrone was treating me like I'm the reason my dad was no longer here. I called Ty, and because at this time my mom didn't want to post it because some of the grandchildren were still out of town. So she's like, "Hey, certain people we are going to call. They're not going to find out on Facebook." Tyrone was one of those people. So I called Tyrone and I say, "What are you doing right now, Ty?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm at work." I said, "Oh, well, just call me back later then, bro." He was like, "No, no, no. What's up, bro?" And I was like, "Nah, just call me later." He was like, "Chasten, bro, what's up?" And I'm like, "Tyrone, I have bad news." And Tyrone said, "Chasten, man, I'm not playing with you, bro." Like he started being, he was so aggressive. "Chasten, I'm not playing with you, bro." And I said, "Whoa." So here it is. I'm supposed to be delivering news that my father's gone. I'm on the phone trying not to laugh because it's like, yo, Ty, bro, why are you on demon time with me? I didn't do it. And I was like, my dad went to the hospital. He said, "Chasten, shut up, bro. I'm telling you, you better shut up, man." I was like, whoa. And I said, and my mom wanted me to call you, Chasten. I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you, bro. And I was like, "Tyrone, my dad is gone." He said, "No, he's not. Shut up. Get off my phone." And Tyrone hung up on me. And I was like, whoa. I was like, oh my God. So I call him again. He answers and he's like, "Chasten, bro, stop playing on my phone, dude. I'm not playing with you. Get off my phone." And he hung up. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do at this point? So then I call him again. I called him a few times. He didn't answer. I called him again. He didn't answer. I call him again. He doesn't answer. I call him again and he answers. He didn't even say hello. He said, "What?" I said, "Tyrone, I know it's tough, bro, but this is what's happening. My mom wanted you to know." He said, and he was very calm voice, very calm. At first he was explosive. This time, this time he was calm. He said, "Chasten, I'm telling you, get off my phone. Stop playing with me. There's nothing wrong with your dad. He's okay." And I said, "Tyrone, as bad as I want that to be true, man, I promise you it's not. My dad is gone. We were just sitting there looking at his body." He said, "Chasten, hey, for real, bro, stop talking to me. Like, just if you don't have nothing different to say, do not call me. Just leave me alone." And I'm like, "Ty, bro, it's okay, man. You know, this is what's happening. My mom just wanted you to know." And then eventually he accepted that this is what's happening. And he just, he broke down and, you know, yeah, yeah, we all hate bad news, and then one of my friends, Nigel, and his wife, Kristen, they came to the hospital with us. And I think one of the greatest moments that happened at that hospital was when we were all surrounding my father. And I posted the video. I posted the video on my YouTube channel. Oh yeah, High Priest Tyrone wasn't playing with me. Tyrone was hot, and I'm like, dude, I didn't do nothing. Like, I am also standing here dealing with the fact that he gone. Why you trying to fight me? I didn't do. I was listen. I would have hated for Tyrone to be there at that hospital. I would have hated for Tyrone to be in Georgia and he got that call, because I just feel like Tyrone would have pulled up on me. It was like, "Now say it again. Say your dad gone one more time, bro. Say it." And I just was like, "Ty, like, hey, Purcell, can you go get him?" Like, "Purcell, come help me." Like, I would have definitely hated for him to have been here. But yeah, I posted the video. I don't think I should get copy. I don't think they should copyright me because it's my video, but I don't want to take any chances. But there is a video I posted on my YouTube channel, Opinions You Didn't Know You Needed, of the prayer that my mother, she prayed. It was a prayer that I wrote, but my mother was there. She's the one who read it over my father's body while we were all surrounding him. Beautiful moment. It was such a great moment to capture. And yeah, so like I said tonight, I just want to talk about the conversations that is right. Yep, Tyrone them did come a few months earlier. I remember my Uncle Crusher had came down a few months early. And I all right, I'm not gonna see. Listen, I be trying to. I know I just say stuff right, and people really don't be believing me. I really say as much as I believe or I feel God is allowing me to say, because I was just about to say something, and I felt Him saying, "Don't say that," and I was gonna twist it up. I was trying to in my head change up how I was gonna say it, and He said, "Don't say that." And so people be like, he just say stuff, he just be talking. I'm telling you, the stuff I say, I feel God is allowing me. That's why that little bit I was about to add up in there, I didn't say because he said, "Don't you say that." Although I'm the gospel Cat Williams, that's why I put the gospel in there because, and I'm not saying Cat Williams don't do it, but I'm saying me personally, God said, "Don't say that." So I'm not saying it. But yes, Tyrone came to visit a few months earlier than when he passed away. So listen, and the reason I did this is we were having our gathering today as my mother was preaching and she was talking about this next phase for the ministry, what we're about to do, the goals, the all I kept thinking of was, man, we have to keep moving even without our dad, even without my dad. We have to keep moving, even without Elder Johnny. We got to keep moving. We cannot get stuck here. We cannot allow, for me it was saying, I was saying, cannot allow my dad not being a part to stop us from accomplishing. And as I stood there and just, I mean, I'm not an overly emotional person, and I was about to, like, the tears were about to come. Then my sister Tucci, she looked at me, and her looking at me kind of made me go, "Nope, you're not gonna happen today." That's what kind of happened. And so the tears didn't fill my eyes the way they wanted to, and I was just standing there like, man, we gotta, even without him, we still have to keep moving. Even without him, we have to do what God called us to do. Without him, we still have a mission, we still have a goal. And the best thing we can do for him is accomplish those things. So that's what this is about for me. Tonight it was just like just the process of grieving. This is the conversation that grief it didn't know it needed. Grief, you're hurting us, you're killing us, you're doing a lot to us, but you are a part of our life. And that's it for me. If you have not seen the video, I did do a cover video for Bridge Over Troubled Water that I dedicated to my father. And I also posted the prayer that I wrote. It is on the YouTube channel, Opinions You Didn't Know You Needed. This has been another great episode. I love being able to interact with other people. I love that you all are coming on stream and you're having conversation with me. I don't know. I was thinking about going live tomorrow and doing conversations women didn't know they needed part two. I likely will do that. And Wednesday, listen, Wednesday, somebody look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, on Wednesday. No, no, wait. Say neighbor, oh neighbor. On Wednesday, I have Christian apologist Chris Claus coming back. If you missed last Wednesday, you missed a great episode. He had to get off early. This upcoming Wednesday, Chris Claus is giving us 2 hours of uninterrupted streaming time. Him, and he's bringing a guest. He's bringing another apologist. He goes by the Word and I. The Word and I. He goes by that. He's also a really good apologist. Bring your questions. I have a list of questions that I've marked down so I can stay on point. 2 hours is going to go by really fast. Join the stream, bring your questions, get your notebooks, your notepads, write down some notes. He's going to be giving us a lot of gems and also teaching us along the way. Again, I appreciate you all for joining me on tonight on Opinions You Didn't Know You Needed, the People's Podcast, where all you have to do to come on here and have an episode all to yourself is subscribe to the YouTube channel, Opinions You Didn't Know You Needed. Let me know you've done that. and then we will set up an episode for you to come on and discuss whatever topic you want to talk about. Listen, love people while they are alive. Treat people right while they are alive, because when they are gone, there's nothing you can do to change it. Even you making up stuff about how you treated them. You know the truth. People around you know the truth. Do right by people now. If you have a problem with your mother, call your mom. If you have a problem with your dad, call your dad. You got a problem with your siblings, your cousins, your uncles, your aunt, whoever. Life really is so short. We do not have time to argue about anything, because the moment that person is gone, all you're going to say is, we wasted all this time arguing. Love someone while they're here. This has been another episode of Opinions You Didn't Know You Needed, the People's Podcast. I'm your host and conversationalist, Chaz, but we both know I am better known as the Gospel Cat Williams. I appreciate you all for joining me. I hope to see you on the next stream, and maybe you'll even come up and be a guest. If not, keep commenting. Have a good time. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you all later.